This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together, we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Live from Los Angeles, we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We also come together in community, in Soul Society and New Thought Global. We truly believe that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and message to bring to the world, and together, we're awakening the world. So today, let's talk about 5 tips to being a soul-based business, soulpreneur, or spiritual coach. The 5 tips. Okay, so this is the deal. I think a lot of people think that we only train certified spiritual coaches. This is not the truth in society, and I've worked with so many different people. And in the group, we have this amazing community. We have people that are real estate agents that want to bring spiritual principle into their real estate companies and brokerages. We have people in corporate jobs that like to just live on spiritual principle and advancing their skills in all departments. We have all different types of people. We have startup companies that do different products. We, of course, have spiritual coaches and people trained to be spiritual practitioners and ministers and things like that. But the point is this, is that spiritual principles apply to everything. I train people to be the CEO of their personal and professional life, and spiritual principles are going into all areas. So whether I've worked with the top CEOs, whether I've worked with celebrities, whether I'm working with a real estate agent or a single mom, the work is always the same because you always have to do your inner work and master your spiritual nature and birth your truth and get really clear on your, what really matters to you in life. And you need to understand business. I don't care if you are a stay-at-home mom. Business is business. Getting organized in your home, getting organized in all the different tasks of life and making sure that you're producing what you want to produce out of life. Life is business. There's no distinction between business and spiritual awakening, okay? It is all one thing because it's all you moving energy upon mind. And we're here as divine spiritual beings creating this experience, and we want to have the effect that we want to create. We want to have the impact that we want to create. We want to have all that. So today, I want to break down and give you 5 things I suggest for any soul-based business owner, for any soulpreneur, for any spiritual coach. And whether you have no idea what you want to create in a business or whether you are already a multiple 7-figure company, because we have both. And we teach the 8 pillars of business, and it applies to everyone. So I'm going to teach you a few things today. We're not going to go over the 8 pillars of business because we go over that in Soul Society, and I've talked about that on other podcasts. Today we're going to talk about 5 things I recommend to become successful as a soul-based business owner, as a soulpreneur, as a spiritual coach, okay? Because look, if you are a soul-based business or a soulpreneur, I'm guessing that you're like me. You probably feel alone. You probably feel maybe you're afraid to even make the leap. Maybe you haven't made the leap out of your traditional job, or maybe you just aren't ready to get your business all up and running. Maybe you don't even know where to start, or you don't know how you're going to ever get your first clients. Maybe you're completely overwhelmed. Maybe you're already in the middle of it and you don't know what to do. Each day you wake up and you're like, where do I even go? Like, I have so much to get done. Maybe you're afraid of working 24/7. A lot of people think I'm going to have this, laptop lifestyle. I'm going to make an impact in the world. And then they end up becoming workaholics because there's just, as an entrepreneur, you can work forever. Okay. So, but I know this is what I know for sure. I know that if you are a soul-based business or a soulpreneur or walking in to become a spiritual coach or a minister, whatever it is with me, I know that you desire to make a difference in the world. I know that you desire to live your truth. I know that you do desire to have choice, or maybe it's that laptop lifestyle. Maybe you desire to write a book and become a world-renowned, author. Maybe you desire to speak on stages. Maybe you desire to influence millions of people. And this is the deal, is that as a soulpreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since I was, how old was I? I think 22. After I had my stillborn, I was 23, because after I had my stillborn, I was in college. I was actually in nursing school. And I had my son who is now turning 25. And I remember thinking, what am I going to do as a mom that I can be flexible, make an impact in the world, and, be available? And so I began the entrepreneurial track, and it was hard. Let me tell you, it was so hard because in our culture, we're programmed in elementary school. We have homework assignments each day. They hold your hand. They, spank your butt if you don't do whatever you say, whatever it is. Not literally, but kind of in some of the schools. But the point is that in entrepreneurship, no one's going to tell you every step, every day, everything you need to do. Entrepreneurship is an art. It is a way of life, and it is really for the big boys, in my opinion, and the big girls. You got to put on your big girl pants for this one, okay? No one is going to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it every single day. You're going to have to be self-motivated, and you're going to have to be extremely organized, and you're going to have to keep your eye on the ball, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 tips today of what I recommend for a soul-based business, whether you're just starting or you are, in the midst of all of it, or a soulpreneur or a spiritual coach or whatever you want to call it, okay? The number one thing I recommend is getting a mentor or a coach. And yes, I'm plugging myself, but whether you work with me or whether you work with somebody else or whether you find a free mentor that's giving you content online, I recommend getting a mentor or coach. Trust me, anybody that's done entrepreneurship, anyone that has done online world, we all wanted to pull our hair out. We all went around in circles. We were all frustrated. We all started with 1 follower. Okay, that's the truth. We've done it. And you want to get a mentor or coach because they're going to teach you little tricks and little hacks that will keep you you'll have 10 times the amount of success in less time. I mean, that's not necessarily true, but it will save you 10 times the amount of time. You have the potential to have 10 times the income because you're looking at somebody else who's already done it. Why would you try and do it on your own? Why would you have to research every time you do anything all over the place? And I do recommend paying for one. And the reason why I recommend paying for one, because it is the common denominator. When I take a look at my life, when I take a look at all my friends who are, multiple 6-figure, multiple 7-figure people online doing business, they all spent money on having coaches. I've never heard of one person that didn't. Honestly, I've never heard of one person that didn't. So you've got to get a mentor coach, okay? You've got to have an accountability. You've got to have somebody that's helping you get clarity, getting focused on your next big thing, all that kind of stuff, okay? The second thing I highly, highly recommend is if you are serious, if you really truly want to be a successful soul-based business owner or a soulpreneur or a spiritual coach, you need to treat it like a profession. That means treat it like you would. I don't know if that's working 8 to 5 or whatever that is, Monday through Friday. You've got to treat it like a profession. I taught in this business group yesterday at 7 a.m. and I was teaching about social media and the 10 things to post on social media to get engagement, to trust, and to have them want to purchase from you. And a lot of them were like, well, I sometimes feel like getting on social media, sometimes don't feel like getting on social media, and so on and so forth. And I said, look, it's like, imagine that you decided you weren't going to open your retail store and you're like, I don't really feel like opening my doors today. I'm just going to not open my doors today, but tomorrow I'm going to feel like it. No, you've got to treat your job, your soul-based business like a profession. If you know that making sales and doing business and impacting people takes you getting on social media 5-7 days a week, posting multiple times a day, that's part of your business. You can't only do it when you feel like it, right? It's like if I want to pay taxes, but I don't like doing it, I can't just be like, you know what, I don't feel like paying my taxes this year, or I'll do it next year. It's part of your business. You have to do it, okay? I'm not saying that you have to do social media. You can hire it done, or you can choose to not do it and just do ads instead. There's ways you can get around that, which I teach you in Soulciety. But you need to treat your soul-based business or your spiritual coaching or your soulpreneurship as a profession. If you expect to be paid like a professional, you've got to act like a professional, right? You got to treat it like a you've got to get it down in your schedule. Lots of people come in society and I help them to become CEOs of their personal professional life. Part of that is getting organized in your personal professional life. If it's not down in your calendar, you're probably not going to do it. It's going to slip your mind and you're not going to do it, okay? Number 3 is keep it simple. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making in their soul-based business or soulpreneur or spiritual coaching is they try and do it all. They want to do the podcast. They want to do the book. They want to, do all this stuff, but they haven't even gotten their first client. They haven't even created their product and priced it and done the research to get a product, right? The difference between a hobby and a profession is that you actually make money, right? So we want to get you to a place where you keep it so simple. You don't have every technology. You don't go across all social media. You don't do all this until you have kept it really simple. We do not teach people to do courses or membership until they've mastered having one-on-ones. If you have a product, you don't have 50 products. You have 1 to 3 products and you keep it very simple and you go on a gradient. So number 3 that I recommend is keep it simple. Number 4 is do the big things instead of the little to-do list, okay? Another big thing I used to do, I remember in my 20s, every day I'd wake up and I'd have this blank piece of paper and I'd write all my to-do lists, all the miscellaneous things. And I would it was actually a distraction. I never got to the big things. And it was like a self-sabotage, subconscious sabotage. Do the big things instead of the little to-do list. We teach it over and over. So there's this famous kind of metaphor around this where somebody has a big glass jar and they have all these to-do lists. Some are huge boulders and some are little pebbles and some is sand. And this represents the big things, the medium things, and the little things on your list of having success that you need to get done. And what happens is if you take that glass jar and you put all the little things and all the sand in first, you actually can't fit in the big things. The only way you're going to fit everything into the glass jar is if you put the big boulders in first, and then you put the medium pebbles in, and then you put the sand in. That's how we want you to think. We want you to think as a strategic business owner and somebody who is committed to having success. We want you to always start with the big things first. In your day, we teach you, that you want to get the big boulders out of the way first, and you don't do anything else until you finish that one big boulder. And then once you finish that one big boulder, then you can get to the smaller things, okay? Next is number 5, which is master your craft. One of the biggest things I've seen people do, their big mistakes is they try and put the horse before the buggy, as they say. You want to become a master of your craft. If you are a spiritual coach, you can have the best website. You can get sales going. You can do all this stuff. You can have great social media. But if you don't go into an actual session and have somebody have major transformation and make an impact in their life, they're probably not going to refer anybody and they might even bad talk you, okay? So you want to be a master of your craft. If you are putting products out and the product is crappy, it breaks, it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, it's not going to be good for your business. You've got to master your craft. You've got to be somebody that is the master of their craft. I always have people that come in into say leadership, because we have programs that are not just about certifying coaches. We have a leadership program that's specifically for soul-based business owners. And we go into spiritual mastery and business mastery. And the spiritual mastery is always the most important, because if they don't get their mindset right, if they don't do their inner trauma work, if they don't get clarity on really what it is, why they're doing, who is their client, and really mastering the clarity around all of it, then getting to the spiritual and getting to the business pillars is great, but it's not really, it's going ahead of the game, okay? So master your craft. What is your craft? If you just say, I'm an expertise, or I desire to be an expertise in this, and X. If I am a master of this, you need to embody that. You need to embody it. You need to take a significant amount of time before you launch your company or during it, and you keep up your craft. I keep up my craft. I'm always reading, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm looking at other people's work, I'm discovering. It never ends. We're always the student. We're the teacher as well, but we're always a student. Master your craft, okay? So 5 things that I recommend to become a great soul-based business, a soulpreneur or a spiritual coach or a minister or a doctor of divinity, any of the things. I recommend, because you're really an entrepreneur. The truth is, you're not going to a traditional job. Someone's not saying, okay, today, here's your list of things you need to get done. All the power to you if you have that position. I will never, ever be able to work in that. I need to be creative. I need to have my own flow. I need to own my own company, right? So number 1 is get a mentor or a coach. Number 2 is treat it like it's a profession. If you want to be a professional, you got to act like a professional. If you want great clients, high paying clients, you got to act like a professional, right? Number 3 is keep it simple. Build your business on a gradient. Number 4 is do the big things instead of the little things. The little to-do list is a dream killer, okay? And number 5 is master your craft. Master your craft, and I promise it'll work out, okay? So you need to trust the process. Trust the process. Being an entrepreneur is beautiful and freaking hard, man. You need to be comfortable with failing. You need to be comfortable with pivoting. We pivot so much. You have no idea. We're always pivoting. We're always listening and getting feedback from our clients, getting feedback from the world. Through the pandemic and through the lockdown, we had to pivot. Our prices changed. We launched a free community. We did all kinds of stuff. Pivot. You've got to trust the process. You've got to fail fast, and you've got to pivot. You've got to look at failure as growth, because you're always growing. This is your development. Your business is your greatest place of development, other than maybe your relationship, right? It is great development. Soulciety and New Thought Global teach me every day. It demands me to get clear of my principles. It demands me to step more and more into my leadership. It demands me to not take things personal. It demands me to look for the highest good and becoming the highest good. It demands all these things from me. Your business is a great source of your spiritual development. And so on that note, I just know perfection of wherever you're at. I truly believe that if you have the desire to become a soul-based business owner, or be a soulpreneur, or be a spiritual coach, or whatever it is, making an impact, having a product or a service or whatever that is, I say yes. I know you can do it, but it's gonna take faith. It's going to take determinism. It's going to take being consistent. It's going to take growing. It's going to take getting great community in your life, getting a mentor, mastering your craft, really treating it as really professional. It's going to take all of those things. But I know you can do it. Whatever you truly desire is your destiny. You are here not to win the rat race of materialism. You are here to experience the depths of your soul and form. So if there's something that you truly dream of doing, do it now. Providence will move too. Okay? Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. And yes, we do have a leadership program, FYI. We have a program that's just for soul-based business owners that teach spiritual mastery and business mastery, so you can master your mindset and your skill set, teaching the 8 pillars of business. It's an incredible program. It's a 12-week program that has lifetime access, that takes you specifically how to take your business online and scale it. You can do this. I swear you can. It's been done, so you can do it, okay? The potential is there. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. If you want to find out more, you can DM me, and I'll send you the info on being a soul in the soul leadership, the leadership program, okay? Have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciety and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you, so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is SOULERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciety. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.